Food consumption signals economic downturns. When economic storm clouds gather, as we've experienced over the past few weeks, the contents of our shopping carts change in subtle but predictable ways. As investors scrutinize stock fluctuations and analysts pore over employment data, we're paying attention to a different kind of indicator: what consumers are putting on their plates. Research consistently shows that food consumption patterns shift meaningfully ahead of official recession declarations, making them valuable early warning signals for businesses that are preparing to navigate economic headwinds. According to the National Bureau of Economic Research, changes in food purchase patterns have preceded all 7 major recessions since 1980. With measurable shifts occurring 3 to 6 months before official economic contractions were declared. When wallets tighten, consumers don't simply buy less, they buy differently. A 2021 study from Sacred Heart University analyzed data from over 60,000 U.S. adults and children before, during, and after the Great Recession, finding distinct shifts in consumption patterns as economic conditions deteriorated. Adults consume more refined grains and solid fats, while children increased their intake of added sugars during the recession. Sales of pasta, canned soups, and boxed macaroni and cheese typically increase 4 to 6 months before economic downturns become official. These shelf-stable, familiar options provide emotional comfort during uncertain times while stretching household budgets. Research from the USDA Economic Research Service confirms that low-income countries spend a greater portion of their budget on necessities, such as food, and low-value staples, such as cereals, account for a larger share of the food budget when economic conditions worsen. One important example is as premium meat cuts become untenable for many households, canned tuna, beans, and peanut butter consumption rises. In the past, egg consumption rose as well, but with the current price of a dozen eggs, it's anyone's guess if that will occur this time. These protein substitutes offer nutritional value without the premium price tag. A study published in ResearchGate found that during economic recessions, people redefine their priorities and what constitutes necessities or indulgences. Economic recessions significantly, they say, affect purchasing power, leading households to substantially reduce consumption of luxury products while shifting towards more affordable alternatives. Flour, sugar, and basic baking supplies see notable upticks as consumers trade restaurant experiences for home-cooked alternatives. During the 28 recession, home baking ingredient sales increased 32% year over year in the quarter preceding the official recession declaration. Store brands and generic alternatives began outpacing their name brand counterparts, with market share shifts accelerating most dramatically in staple categories. This follows Engel's law, which asserts that consumers with higher incomes spend a smaller share of their income on food than lower income consumers, meaning a recession or a loss of income will increase the importance of food in consumers' overall budget. So what categories do we expect to be impacted in a negative way? Well, ready-made gourmet meals, premium frozen dinners, specialty prepared items are among the first casualties of belt-tightening. Craft beers, premium coffee drinks, and non-essential beverages see consumption declines as consumers revert to basics. Many recession-friendly foods like canned soups, simple pastas, frozen pizza, and basic baked goods evoke childhood memories of simpler times. This nostalgia factor explains why established brands with generational loyalty often weather recessions better than newer alternatives. Forward-thinking category managers can leverage these consumption patterns in several ways, as validated by empirical research. For CPG, this pre-recession period offers ideal timing to launch value-oriented line extensions or family-sized packaging options rather than premium innovations. A study published in Appetite examined relationships between food consumption patterns and economic growth and found that for low-income countries, GDP increase is accompanied by changes towards food consumption patterns with large gaps between supply and actual consumption. Insights that can help manufacturers target appropriate markets during economic transitions. Distributors and retailers should adjust inventory planning to accommodate increased demand for shelf-stable basics while reducing exposure to discretionary food categories. When consumers are shifting towards value and comfort, marketing messages emphasizing indulgence or exclusivity risk tone deafness. Economic research from Choices magazine confirms Engel's law, basically saying that a recession or a loss of income will increase the importance of food in consumers' overall budget, making reliable, value-focused messaging crucial. Today's economic environment shows several troubling parallels to previous pre-recession periods. Recent market research indicates a 17% year-over-year increase in private label food purchases, accelerating pasta and rice consumption, and declining sales of premium prepared foods, all classic warning signs. The U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis recently reported the monthly international trade deficit, with exports decreasing in January from $130.7 billion to $122.7 billion in February. That's minus 6.1%, and imports less than 0.1 billion, indicators that historically preceded economic contractions. In these turbulent and uncertain economic times, category managers that monitor and respond to these subtle shifts in food consumption gain valuable lead time to adjust strategies before competitors who wait for official economic declarations. Understanding not just what consumers are buying, but why these patterns emerge, you can position your brands to maintain customer loyalty and market share even as spending habits change. The humble grocery cart, it turns out, may be one of our most reliable economic forecasting tools, as long as we take the time and insights to know how to read it.